Good morning children, how are you all? I hope you all are fine and safe at your places. Myself Miss Surbhi Sharma from Shivjyoti Educational Group Kota. So children, as you all know, today we are going to start with History Chapter 6, that is Towns, Traders and Craftsperson revision. So let's start with the chapter. Yes. So chapter 6, Towns, Traders and Craftsperson. Okay, as you all know, we have already done with this chapter. Okay, I hope you have read this chapter and you have seen the video lecture also. So towns, traders and craftsperson. See, if we talk about the towns, in this chapter we have read about 3 types of towns. Okay, temple towns were there. Okay, temple towns, then commercial towns, and third one was administrative centers. Okay, administrative centers. Okay, so about these 3 towns we have read in this chapter. Now how towns got developed, okay, how towns got flourished. Okay, see, because of these traders and craftsperson. If traders won't, see, if craftspersons won't be there, what would traders do? Like, what are the things traders are going to sell? Yes, if traders won't be there, what will craftsperson do? And if craftsperson won't be there, what will traders do? See, these traders were dependent upon craftsperson, and somewhere these craftspersons were also dependent upon the traders. Why? Because these traders are taking their productions, what craftspersons are producing, they are taking their production and they are selling it in the towns. Okay, so somewhere they were dependent upon each other. So how towns got flourished? Towns got flourished because of these craftsperson and traders. Beside this, we have studied about 3 types of towns: temple towns, commercial towns and administrative towns or administrative centers. Okay, now including these 3 towns, we are I am going to give you one example. I am going to make you understand about these 3 towns through one case study, or you can say through one example of Thanjavur. Okay, now if we talk about the administrative centers, see, we are taking example of Thanjavur. Okay, Thanjavur was the, see, it was the temple town also, administrative center also and commercial town also. See, if we talk about the temple town, then how Thanjavur was the temple town? Because Raja Rajeshwara, okay, Raja Rajeshwara temple was there, and who built this temple? King Raja Deva. Okay, now if we talk about the commercial town, okay, commercial town, then spices, okay, textiles and many other things were being sold in this town. Okay, traders were coming from different places and they were selling their production, they were selling their products in these towns. Okay, then next one is last one, that is administrative center. Okay, administrative center, you can say administrative towns. All the buying and selling and all the financial things which were financial aspects, transactions which were taking place were also managed by this town, within this town only. Otherwise what was there? See, some towns were temple towns, but they were not commercial and administrative centers. Some towns were commercial towns, but they were not handling the temple, like they were not the temple towns and they were not the administrative towns. But Thanjavur was the town which was temple town also, commercial town also and administrative center also. And I have explained you how Thanjavur was was known as the greatest administrative centers, and how Thanjavur was like a temple town also, commercial town also and administrative center also. Okay, now next is temple towns and pilgrimage centers. Okay, now temple towns and pilgrimage centers. What do you understand by the pilgrimage centers? I have already explained you. Temple towns and pilgrimage centers. Okay, pilgrimage centers, that is Tirth Sthan in Hindi. If I tell you Tirth Sthan, okay, where people generally come for the religious things, okay, for worshipping some god or for visiting some of the other temples. Okay, so temple towns, see, these temple towns got flourished because of the temples. Okay, because of the temples. Okay, and because of these temples only people start visiting these towns for worshipping that particular god whose temple was there in that particular town. For example, we can take example of Mathura. Okay, Mathura Vrindavan. Okay, generally for what Mathura is famous? For Lord Krishna's temple. Why people are visiting there? For visiting the temples of Lord Krishna. So in the same way, how towns got flourished? Because of these temples only. Okay, so as more and more people start visiting these towns, it became pilgrimage center, Tirth Sthan ban gaya. And what happened? Various artisans, craft person, all the people, those people start residing near the temple. Why? Because the people who were visiting these temples, okay, those traders, they were selling their products to these people who were visiting these temple. Okay, so these the places where temples were there, those places changed into small towns and got famous because of these temples only. Okay, now next is a network of small towns. See, under network of small towns, if you remember, yes, network of small towns. See, under network of small towns, what we have studied about Mandapika and Hatta, or called as Haat. Okay, this is Mandi. Okay, other name is Mandi. Okay, you can make this flow chart. Okay, Mandapika or Mandi. See, various small traders, okay, various small traders were coming from different towns and selling their goods. Okay, selling their goods. Okay, in this Mandi and Haat, okay, also known as Haat, present day Haat. Okay, they were selling their products. Okay, they were bringing, like some of them were bringing spices, some of them were bringing grains, they were bringing all such products and they were selling in these places. Okay, so what happened? A network of small towns were made. Okay, like small towns got connected. How those towns got connected? Because of these people, because of this Mandi and Haat. Because in this Mandi and Haat only people from different towns, they were coming and they were selling their products. And this is how network of small towns were made and network of small towns were there. Okay, this is how towns got connected and it formed a small network. Okay, now next, crafts in towns. Now if we talk about crafts in towns, see, people, different communities were there. Okay, crafts in towns. Okay, now different communities were there for different things. Like for example, craft person of Bidar, okay, craft person of Bidar, they got famous for their inlay work in copper and silver, known as Bidri. Okay, if you remember, we have read this in the chapter, and I have explained you in the video lecture also. Okay, so craft person of Bidar came to be known as, like whatever work they were doing, okay, the work in copper and silver, that came to be known as Bidri. And beside this, Saliyar and Kaikolars, these were also there. Such communities were also there who were engaged in some of the other work. Like for example, Panchalas and Vishwakarma community, you can write it down, Panchalas and Vishwakarma community. See, Panchalas, or you can say Vishwakarma, okay, Panchalas or Vishwakarma community, they were like these communities include all the goldsmiths, bronzesmith, masons and carpenters were included in such communities. Then beside this, other communities were also there. You can write it down, okay, Saliyars and Kaikolars, okay, Saliyars and Kaikolars, Saliyars and Kaikolars, okay, they were the weavers, okay, all the weavers were included in this community, okay. And craft person of Bidar, I have already told you, they were famous for their inlay work in copper and silver, and their work came to be known as Bidri, okay. So you can see how different communities were there for different works, and they were engaged in different works, and their communities were also separated, okay. So crafts in towns, crafts include like different things, okay. So for different things, different items, different communities were there, okay. Now the last, that is Hampi, Masulipattnam and Surat. Hampi, Masulipattnam and Surat. See, if we talk about Hampi, first, if we talk about Hampi, see how what made Hampi so famous. See, the architectural style of Hampi was very different, okay. Instead of using cement and all, the different types of bricks were used. What kind of bricks were used for making for the constructional activity? See, such kind of bricks were used, okay, such kind of bricks were used, okay. And this, you can say, these bricks got interlocked, okay, these bricks used to get interlocked. This part of first brick get fit into this part of second brick, okay. So this technique was used for the constructional activity, okay. So that is the only reason why Hampi got very famous, and slowly it became it got famous for all the cultural and traditional activities, and many people from different areas, they start visiting the Hampi for selling their products, okay. Now next, that is Masulipattnam, okay. Masulipattnam, also known as, yes, what is the other name of Masulipattnam? Yes, Masulipattnam, also known as Machli Patnam, okay. It also got flourished, okay. Many people from different areas, they start visiting Masulipattnam, okay. And see, Dutch and East India Company, Dutch and East India Company, they tried to capture Masulipattnam, and also Dutch, they built forts Okay, there. Okay, where? At Masulipatam. Why they built forts? So that like they just wanted to capture that area. Okay, so this is how Masulipatam, like traders from different countries. Okay, like East India and Britishers and Dutch. They all were coming with their products and they all were selling those products here. But when as the Mughal Empire started declining, there like this the flourishing of the Masulipatam, like all the traditional and cultural activities which were going in the Masulipatam, it also got vanished with the Mughal Empire, and slowly and steadily these Dutch and East India Company, they started looking for some or the other alternatives for their own business. Okay, now the last one, that is Surat. Surat is still famous. Yes, famous for what? Tell me first. Surat is still famous for textile, saris and all, and at those times Surat were famous for cotton textile. If we talk about Surat, okay, in those time it was famous for cotton textile, okay, and for their gold lace border, okay, and that gold lace border was known as zari. Okay, so in those time these cotton textiles and all their cloth material was famous for their gold lace borders, that was known as zari. So people from different countries, they were coming to Surat. Okay, they were selling their products, and instead of they were collecting these kind of cotton cloth from the market of Surat, and they were selling these cotton cloth in their own countries. Okay, so Surat also flourished in a very good way, and many people set up their business. They also start trading, like they also set up their business, they also set up their all the shops and all. But what happened when again Mughals start declining? These flourishing of the Surat, the area, and the emerging industries, the emerging business of the Britishers, it also got vanished. Okay, children. Now let's start with the copy work. Let me explain you the question and answers. Yes, so starting with the internal questions, I hope you all have marked the internal questions. Question number 1, why ruler built temples? Page number 76. Rulers built temples to demonstrate their devotion towards various deities. Question number 2, which was the most important festival celebrated at Hampi? The Mahanavami festival, known today as Navratri in the south, was one of the most important festivals celebrated at Hampi. Okay, known. Okay, you can find this answer on page number 83. Okay, mark it properly. Now question number 3, name the famous guilds from 8th century onwards. Nana Desi and Mani Gramam. Okay, children. Now copy work. Very short answer type questions. Question number 1, define emporium. Emporium is a place where goods from diverse production centers were brought and sold. Okay, short answer type questions. How was water supplied to the city of Thanjavur? Water was supplied to the city of Thanjavur from wells and tanks. Yes, how water was supplying? Water was supplying from wells and tanks. Question number 3, who lived in the black towns and cities such as Madras? Merchants, artisans, native traders and craft person lived in the black towns established by European companies. Okay, I hope you all must remember, you all have remember how I have explained you about the black towns and white towns, how European companies, how Britishers have divided the people, divided themselves from the Indians on the basis of black towns and white towns. Okay, in the black towns they have kept all the Indian merchants, artisans and native traders in the black towns, and for themselves they have made the white towns. Now question number 4, in what ways was craft production in cities like Calcutta different from that in cities like Thanjavur? The craft production in Thanjavur was in form of inlay work in copper and silver, while in Calcutta it was in the form of cotton textiles, jute textiles and silk textiles. Question number 5, why did people from distant lands visit Surat? Why people were visiting Surat? Achha, tell me. I have explained you, Surat was famous for cotton textile, it's gold lace and cotton textiles, gold lace borders, and for this cotton textile only people were traveling to Surat. People from distant lands visited Surat because textiles of Surat were famous for their gold lace borders known as zari. There was a big market for cotton textiles. Magnificent buildings and innumerable parks attracted people of far off places. As people started visiting Surat, what happened? Architectural, infrastructural development was also there in the Surat. Surat hundis were honored in the market of Egypt. Now long answer type questions. Question number 6. How important were craftspersons for the building and maintenance of temples? Craftspersons played an important role in the building and maintenance of temples. First, the Vishwakarma community consisting of goldsmith, blacksmith, masons and carpenters were essential to the building of temples. Okay, Vishwakarma community, just now we have read about them. Now second, weavers such as the Saliyar. Saliyar were the communities of weavers, were prosperous communities and they made ample donations to temples. Third, the craftsperson of Bidar was skilled in their inlay work in copper and silver. Okay. Now question number 7. Why do you think towns grew around temples? Yes, why towns grew around temples? As people start visiting the temples, okay, as the people start visiting the temples, different artisans, traders and all, they all start bringing their products to those areas and selling those products to those people who were coming and visiting the temples. And this is how the areas where temples were there, it got changed into temple towns. Towns grew around temples because they were centers of commercial activities and craft production. In order to cater the needs of pilgrims, a large number of priests, artisans, workers and traders settled near the temple, and slowly pilgrimage centers developed into townships. Okay, and this is how the areas where temples were there, it developed and it changed into temple towns. Okay. This is how towns grew around temples. Those artisans and traders, they start residing near the temple areas only. So children, I hope you all understood the question and answers well. Please see the video lecture once again. Okay, this revision video and video lecture of this particular chapter. If you are having any query, any doubt, you can just ask it down in the live session. Okay. Till then, thank you, take care and go through the chapter once again.